Hello and welcome to WilmingtonBiz Talk, presented by the Greater Wilmington Business Journal. Today, we're going to be talking about the manufacturing industry in the Wilmington area and some of the issues that our manufacturers are facing and how they're addressing them. But first, we'll hear a message from our sponsor.
Hello, I'm Ann Gardner, CEO of Cape Fear Realtors. Realtors support this program's efforts to connect our community in meaningful dialogue with actionable insights. Realtors are dedicated professionals who build strong, resilient communities and businesses. Work with someone you can trust. Work with a realtor. Learn more at capefear.realtor.
Welcome back to WilmingtonBiz Talk. Today, as I said before, we are going to be talking about the manufacturing industry in the area. And with us to talk about that, we have Jim Flock, General Manager of HSM Machine Works, and Steve Janz, who is the Vice President of International Sales and Strategic Business Development for Flow Sciences, Inc. And we're going to be talking about not only the issues that manufacturing is facing now, especially in Wilmington, but also what manufacturers have gotten together to do about it. So, but first I want to get you guys to tell us, a little bit about your particular companies and what you do, how long you've been in Wilmington and what you do. If you want to start us off, Jim.
Sure. Thank you, Cece, for having us. I'm Jim Flock. I'm the general manager of HSM Machine Works. We're an aerospace manufacturer located on Mount Misery Road in Leland. We're based up in New York. HSM has been in business since the early 60s, and we moved and established our facility down here back in 1991. We came down here to address some of the issues we were having regarding cost, labor, taxes, etc. up in New York. And we came down here and established this facility, and we're making it grow. I've got about 20 people in the building here right now, and looking forward to growth and increasing our workforce and helping to do some good in the area as well.
Great. Steve, how about Flow Sciences? Tell us about it.
Well, Flow Sciences has been in business since the late 90s. With the founder, Ray Ryan, who is our current CEO and president, guiding our path. We have established several buildings in Wilmington very early in the start of Flow Sciences. And we moved over to the Leland Industrial Complex, right behind Victaulic, next to Tritech Forensics, in 2004. Flow Sciences is a play on words. It's the science of airflow. And what that means is we are a mechanical engineering and process safety company, meaning that we make products primarily for the pharmaceutical and healthcare industry. Things like fume hoods and powder hoods to help keep the operators that make medicine from research all the way through tablets and capsules for clinical trial production that actually goes into the mouths of patients. So it's a very exciting company to work for. I joined when we were just about 20 people. We're over 70 people right now, and we continue to expand into foreign markets. We're in over 30 countries right now, but our primary market is the healthcare and pharmaceutical industry right here in the United States. And one of the issues that we continue to have is not only trying to help our community grow, but to have the awareness amongst our companies that work around us, because some of the products that we make have nothing to do with the powder hoods and fume hoods. We do sell fabrication equipment to some of our local industries here, like Corning, South Tech Technologies, and other companies as well. So we're growing in a variety of areas, and we need a variety of people to help our growth.
Well, that flows into my first question about open positions. And we keep hearing a lot about labor shortages in a variety of industries, but are there a lot of open positions at your companies and in the manufacturing industry as a whole?
Well, right now I'm looking for 4 people to work in my facility over here. One of the things that We gathered together back in December of last year. Steve, myself, and a few other executives in the area were convened with the help of Erin Easton from the Cape Fear Workforce Development Board. And we've had some common issues that evolved during our conversation. And a lot of these have to do with attracting talent, finding qualified, skilled help. And these are some of the battles that we're fighting right now. I'm looking for 2 people. I'm interviewing people all this week and all next week. I'm 2 positions rather. And it's tough. It's tough. It's hard to find qualified help. And we're going to have to try and do something about that. I know that. I'm sorry, go ahead, Steve.
And likewise, Jim, I've spoken to our production supervisor, and we too are looking for people. A lot of what has happened with our company is we had 2 facilities, one across the highway in the Leland Industrial Park. We are continuing to expand our building. We've moved that facility over to where we are on Mercantile Drive. And a lot of the pandemic related orders, because we sell capital equipment, that's high dollar volume piece of equipment. So in essence, what happens is a lot of the demand from well over a year ago is hitting us now. So we're going to have quite a seasonal influx of orders from the pharmaceutical industry. Again, they're looking to make as many medicines as fast as they can. And the whole idea of an even flow of sales just isn't the way the world's working this year. It's very bumpy. And what we need to do is we need to have our workforce ready for these orders and the production of them. And that takes planning. And part of I think what the Cape Fear Manufacturing Partnership has asked the leaders of these companies to do is, what do we do to plan for the future so we have an even flow of talent, that we don't have to reach outside of the 4-county or even the state area to help make sure that we have a real growth of talent inside our companies, because all the industries in this area tend to be growing at this point.
Well, and to go back to Jim, what you were talking about, the gathering in December, I think you said of folks, that's was the start of the Cape Fear Manufacturing Partnership. And this is a group of, 27 executives from manufacturing firms who've come together to address some of these issues, such as, the need to recruit for these open positions. Is that correct?
We're up to 29 right now, Cece. We added 2 more this morning. We're gathering a little bit of interest in everything. We have a wide diversity of industries. I mean, we have Steve's business, my business. We're in defense, obviously high tech with Steve. We have people from General Electric, Mojo Tone, guitar makers, Vitalik, General Electric, Corning, Acme's Fish. So we have a wide range of businesses, but we have some common problems. And one of those is attracting the talent. Sometimes we're competing with each other for talent, for the same people. Like I mentioned earlier, HR has become one of my hobbies over here, and it's tough. It's very time consuming, and we need to start to do something in this area and nationally as well, in order to improve the industrial base in this country. For many years, since I've been a kid, I've been hearing stay in school, stay in school, stay in school. You don't want to do these things that your father did. You don't want to be a machinist. You don't want to be a plumber, an electrician, or perform any of these so-called blue-collar jobs. And a lot of them are being moved offshore. And what's happened is we've gone more and more towards a service economy. And it seems from our discussions that we've created a big disconnect in society, where you have a lot of highly paid professionals, businessmen, lawyers, academics, etc., on one end of the spectrum. And then on the other end of the spectrum, you have a lot of people doing a lot of low-paid jobs, working in things such as restaurants, hotels, and things like that. But the whole middle class, which is usually and traditionally in this country been formed by those manufacturing jobs is starting to dissolve. And we need to do something to take those jobs and get those jobs back and get those skills back.
I think, I'm sorry, I think one of the common answers that we had is, how do we educate the local area that we exist as manufacturers, right? Businesses to business selling, that's one kind of marketing, but how do you get to the folks in education and in civic organizations, and for those people that are homeschooling, how do we get those people to understand that there's a huge need to open their eyes to say, you can stay right around here, or, you know, even if you don't want to, that the idea of manufacturing as a great career is something that we, you know, and we reached out to the Wilmington Business Journal because we're still new. I mean, Jim, this is a few months old. I think we've taken some great strides. We understand it's a systemic issue in the community and the country, and we're trying through communication like this to let people know there are jobs out there. But we're looking for ideas, and we're looking for companies and educators to understand or ask to lead us on how we get the message out. And I think, Jim, if you don't mind kind of repeating what the certified program is, I think that's one of the areas that's a real success point.
Sure. To expand a little bit on what Steve said, this is a national issue. This is all over the country. And what we're doing over here, I'm hoping maybe we can be used as a template in other areas as well, to be able to expand this and create something of a movement. I know that there are organizations like ours in other areas in the country, but this is, I believe, the first time anything's been tried like this over here. So I'm a little excited about it. I'm hoping that we can really get some things accomplished. One of the things that Steve had mentioned, we had a meeting last week with Brunswick Community College. They're the first ones that we've been able to sit down and coordinate with. And we're working with them to establish a CPT program, which is a Certified Professional Technician, if I'm not mistaken, program that they're going to be administering through the high schools. And this is going to be one of those things that we're reaching out to try and create that awareness, to let people in the community know that it's not just a job, not just a paycheck, that we're looking to find somebody. I don't need a warm body over here, but I would like people who are more career minded and to start to look at what we do and what Steve's company does and our other members do as potential career paths. And so the Certified Production Technician certification, if you will, trains people in things like manufacturing techniques, inspection, workflow, soft skills such as a work ethic, things like that, responsibility. These are things that are not necessarily being taught or not being taught effectively and getting across to a lot of the students and stuff. So this is things that we're trying to take some steps to help open up. Brunswick has been very cooperative with us, and it looks like we're going to be using a lot of their actions as a form to attack the other areas in other counties in our area, rather.
Well, another thing that I'd like to go back to is this isn't a dismal call, right? This is an excellent call because it's an outreach effort and it builds on a lot of past successes. For our company, we've dealt with Cape Fear Community College, Brunswick Community College, through a variety of programs in the past. You know, this is pre-pandemic, and we have a bit of a pathway from, you know, folks that may only have associate's degrees because that's what they want to do and they want to get their hands on equipment or testing equipment. We've brought them into the organization. We have a great cross-training program. So we've had people move from production to engineering, some into marketing and sales. So the idea is to try to get the message that there are manufacturers in the area that are looking for folks, whether it's from, you know, a graduate level at UNCW or a middle schooler that we plant the seed with. And I'd like to move the conversation to that part where how do we plant the seeds in our education system to change the system problem that we think, and Jim so nicely said before, where there's a perception, and we've got to change the perception. We've got to figure out how in the middle schools to change that perception, which is giving the middle schoolers an awareness that the university isn't the only goal. And again, not a bad goal, but certainly not the only goal. And one of our challenges that we're reaching out today is to ask people, how do we do this? We're making stuff and selling stuff. We're not expert at changing the message at a middle school type of level. And Jim, I was wondering if you might relate to one of the educational and STEM discussions we had as a group. That was a very good meeting.
We touched on a lot of stuff there, Steve. We're reaching out to the middle schools. We've been working with the CTE directors of the 4 counties in our area. They've been very cooperative. We are working with the middle schools and the high schools. We're hoping to have some outreach. We're planning to arrange a schedule of guest speakers to go into the high schools and middle schools. I'm looking actually to take a couple of my recent hires over here, guys who are moving up the ladder at HSM, and take them and let them talk, because if I'm trying to connect with a middle schooler, they're looking at some old guy standing up in front of them and saying, well, what's he got to say to me that I'm really going to care about? But if I get one of my guys in there, a 20-something-year-old kid who's come in here, who went to one of the community colleges, has gotten associates, and now he's coming in here and he's really looking for a solid career path, that's those things that will identify and connect with these kids and make them aware of what we're doing over here. And I'm not dismissing a college education by any chance, but it would be nice if a lot of these kids maybe could get a little feel for what they want to do when they get older. And coming out of high school, you come in here, and some of the things we've been working on that I skipped over before was on-the-job training, work-based learning opportunities that we can bring in high school and middle schoolers into our facilities over here and let them get a taste of what it's about. And then maybe you can take that and you can say, wow, I liked what they did over at HSM. I want to look into being maybe a manufacturing engineer or a mechanical engineer or get into aerospace or something like that. So maybe you take that entry-level position here and you run with that. And these are things that it's part of what we're doing is both a short-term approach to fix or immediate issues, but we need to do a long-term approach too, and reach out to kids who are in 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th grade now, and their parents and their educators, and make them aware of what's going on. And that's one of the difficulties that we have. Like Steve said, we need some help. We need some advice on how we make these connections. But I like the idea of the on-the-job trainings. I like the idea of bringing in people. We have programs we're working with the community colleges to use some WIOA funds to do apprenticeships and externships for some of the teachers in the local schools, probably coming next summer, so that they can be aware of what's going on over here too, so we can educate the educators a little bit. And I think that with all these steps that we're taking, that we're going to have an impact. It is a long-term deal though, and it's going to take a little while. A few
Okay. Well, let me ask. Oh, go ahead.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to ask how often you guys are meeting to talk about the manufacturing partnership, how often you're meeting to talk about your goals and like accomplishing some of these things and getting these ideas that you're looking for.
Okay, well, when we started out, we created a steering committee. Actually, we created 2 action teams, one of which was tasked with aligning talent to the demand and trying to create templates for career paths and things so that people can see that. And another one was tasked with elevating the perception of industry and making people aware of the various career paths that we have over here. Since that time, we've met a few times virtually. We get the whole group together every other month. And we have our steering committee now, which consists of me and a few of the other people from our action teams. And we get together on a regular basis to discuss some of these things, such as the meeting with Brunswick Community College, our CPE directors meeting that we had a couple of weeks ago, and a few of the other things that we've got going on coming up in the near future.
Well, let me ask you this. This is off the same subject, sort of, but off the topic of the partnership. What do you, this will be our last question. What do you think it would take to attract more manufacturers here to the Wilmington area?
Yeah, I'll try to take that a little bit. I think the business development and economic development people do a great job of reaching out beyond the area to other areas. I mean, we are a clinical trial hub in this area. Not a lot of people know that. When I talk to many other countries about our capabilities, Brunswick County has an excellent reputation through the small businesses that are around here on metal fabrication. But the people right around here probably don't even know that, right? And that's one of the goals that we need, because we can reach out to other businesses. And Jim basically said there was incentives for his company to move down here, right? And certainly a lot of people, when they visit Wilmington and they see the beach and the community, and then understanding what manufacturing capability are, they come back for a second trip. And there's no doubt we've had visitors from many different countries and many, top 50 Fortune 500 companies visit, and then they come back and they take another look. So I think the awareness as we grow this type of partnership is to add on to the other hubs that are right around here already.
Okay. Did you have anything to add to that, Jim?
No, he hit the nail on the head pretty much over there. But as terms of attracting not just other businesses to our area, but in talent and everything like that, it is an extremely desirable area to live. I know that when I interview people, we're placing ads nationally, and I'm interviewing people from all over the place who are looking to come down here and take advantage of the lifestyle. I'm transplanted from New York. I moved down here about 6 years ago. And before I took this position, I would have never imagined leaving New York. Now I can never imagine leaving here and going back there, to be quite honest with you. It's a beautiful place to live and work, and we need to get that message out. And as far as the business climate is, it's very attractive. North Carolina is doing a lot of things to attract business, and they're putting a lot of incentives out there. And these are the kind of things that we need to keep doing down here.
Okay. Well, I appreciate you coming on, Jim and Steve, and we'll definitely check back in with you guys again on how the goals of the manufacturing partnership are going, and with some of those efforts that you talked about today. If you want to catch more of the Wilmington Biz Talk episodes, we are on the podcasting platforms and on Facebook. So appreciate the talk today, and I hope you guys have a good afternoon.
Thank you.
TC, if I may give a quick plug real fast, I apologize.
Sure. Oh, that's okay.
For more information on our group, please email me at capefearmfg@gmail.com. And we do have a website under development that should be up and running shortly, and that will be capefearmanufacturing.com.
Okay, and I will include those in the links today to let people know about those too. So
excellent. Thank you very much for having us.
Thanks. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.